Now, just a quick kind of technical point here for those of you that might be interested, and also to focus on this point of planetary influence and importance, just to connect the dots. Of course, the cyclicality of our seasons is dictated by the positioning of the Earth and the Sun. And of course, here you can see that shift, that the different stages here as the Earth runs through these seasons. So you have, for example, the two equinox beginnings, where you have the vernal equinox, the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere. Then we shift anti-clockwise. The summer solstice, which is very well known, first day of summer in the northern hemisphere. So as the Earth basically shifts around in an anti-clockwise fashion around the sun, and then it rotates into the autumnal equinox, the first day of autumn in the northern hemisphere, and then finally full circle or full cycle to the winter solstice, the first day of winter in the northern hemisphere. So the sun and the Earth have this cyclical progression, relationship, and that actually, if we were to kind of take a step out into the universe and see how this actually happens from a mechanical or a universal standpoint, this is how it happens. Now, this also then just highlights the relevance of the universe, the solar system that actually we're surrounded by. It's an infinite space of stars and planets that we are surrounded by, and always have done since the beginning of time. And so I'm just going to make the point here that of course a lot of these planets and a lot of this cosmic universe, this infinite cosmic universe, has an influence on everything. Think of it as a big ecosystem. And of course the Earth and the Sun and the Moon, these are some of the main planets that we know, but of course there are many other planets. And each of them have some kind of interconnectivity with each other. We can only but assume that is the case, just because of the nature of their makeup and very scientific research, which has been studied in this area. But also keeping in mind the importance of the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon, we can just but assume that there is so much equal or more significance to these planets as well. Now, of course, the ancient civilizations had a wonderful respect, a very rich respect for time, and specifically for this cosmic universe that we are surrounded by, and the relevance to that within their very lives. So I want to make that point so we can kind of trace back in history and just maybe understand a little bit about that. I won't talk too much about this, but just enough just to get a flavor of the importance of cycles in life and in markets. Now, when we think of ancient civilizations and time, the most popular thought in our mind is the ancient Mayan civilization and their famous Mayan calendar. And of course, this became even more of a top headline into 2012, where a lot of people were expecting some kind of Armageddon shift in civilization, which didn't happen, fortunately. We're still alive and well and breathing, smiling. But they had this amazing technology, basically, many thousands of years ago, that was able to basically precisely time calendars and moments throughout the day, almost as accurately as the current atomic clock that we have now. So we're talking about precise technology that was able to identify exact moments in time. And then, of course, long-term timing windows, such as a multi-thousand-year-old calendar, which spoke of an important cyclical shift in 2012. Now, there's another school of thought that didn't see it as a negative or an Armageddon shift, but more as a duality, a shift from one season to another season. Think of the Earth's seasons of spring, summer, winter, and autumn. There is a growing thought that the Mayan calendar was focusing more on this shift, this big shift between one season to another shift, to another season in 2012. But that's, for those of you who are interested, the Mayan calendar or the Mayan civilization tends to be up there, top on the list in terms of very interesting themes when people talk about ancient civilizations and their understanding of cycles. But then, of course, we have other civilizations, other famous civilizations, and the ancient Egyptians are very famous for studying cycles. And this is a picture of the Temple of Isis, the ceiling of the Temple of Isis, which you can now find in the Louvre Museum in Paris. So their main museum in Paris, where many flock to see the art and the famous Mona Lisa painting. You can actually go in there in the Egyptian section, the ancient Egyptian section. You can also see the ceiling of the Temple of Isis. Now, on the ceiling of the Temple of Isis, it's basically a homage, an honoring of many planetary movements and zodiac symbology. But basically, this was a very integral part of their lives. And so many of the pharaohs and many of the astrologers or the astronomers of that time would actually carve out hieroglyphic outlines of the planets, of the cyclical nature of the planets, and maybe some of their symbology. So this is a screenshot of that, which the real thing is actually now in the French Museum in Paris. Now, again, I want to take a step back here and now talk more about the duality of the cycle. So the very nature of the cycle is there is a beginning and there is an end. There is a yin, there is a yang in Chinese philosophy. And that's what this picture illustrates here. And this is the very point of cyclicality. And I want to switch from cycles quickly to markets in this particular slide. And this point that I'm making, and make the point that this is why cycles are so important, because we often talk and live and trade in a linear world, or a linear thought process. We believe that what has existed for a certain amount of days, weeks, months, even years, will continue forever. And so we just have this perception, or this misperception, in my opinion, of linear trends. And it's partly behavioral, in the sense that as human beings, we have this human trait, this human expectation of things continuing forever. And it's kind of like being in a car, driving forward and looking through the rearview mirror and always seeing the same road behind you. At some point, you're going to hit a curve. At some point, you're going to take a turn, left or right. There's going to be a T-junction of some sort. I just want to quickly just jump to some of the chat, because there's been some few comments here. Robert's saying, I have perfect cycles. When I buy, it sells. When I buy, it sells. And when I sell, it buys. It's turning into a real cycle. Sounds interesting. Robert's also saying, and then Victoria's saying, you mean no more taper. Good point. So on some more thematic examples, quantitative easing is an economic trend that everyone's been expecting to continue forever, or governments have maybe been expecting to continue forever. Obviously, we're seeing tapering now, unwinding, and so that's been a shift in the economic monetary policy, which will and probably is already having an impact on markets. So yes, there are many changes, and that also includes economic policy as well.